High School, our Cable 36 high school basketball game of the week. Our second of two games from here at Kickapoo as the Glendale Falcons face the Kickapoo Chiefs. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rob Evans along with Don West, and you saw the numbers right there. And 21-2 and unbeaten in the conference for those guys. And the Kickapoo Chiefs, not half bad themselves this year, Don.
16-5, 5-2 in the conference, tied for second place with Parkview right now with 2 losses, but Glendale could clinch no worse than a tie in the conference if they win here tonight with only 2 games to go in the Ozark Conference season after this one. This is a rematch of a game 2 weeks ago tonight, January 29th, out at Glendale, that the Falcons won 73-58. It was close for about 2.5 quarters before Glendale pulled away and won by 15. So great rematch here tonight and a great atmosphere again as always. Great atmosphere.
That's what we're talking about right there. Guys getting fired up and excited about tonight's ball game, and we're going to have a pretty good crowd. Both the student sections are getting fairly well filled up as you take a look at Roy Green, who's been out here for 16 years. And this ball club can't help but think back to that first year when he was at the Kickapoo helm and the first matchup that he had with Glendale as the Kickapoo head coach. I want to say that it was something like the lowest scoring game in Chiefs history because his teams had to hold the ball. I'll never forget what he said that night. He goes, if they think I'm going to do that for the next 20 years, they're crazy.
Well, 16 years later, they're not holding the ball type of team, and they haven't been for a long time.
And they're very, very fun to watch. They get the ball up and down the floor. I think sometimes they may, over the years, have taken a few shots that the old coach didn't want. But one thing is for sure, he's got good players. He has good shooters out here, and he'll give them the green light. Glendale's job tonight is to shut those shooters down. They did so over at Glendale a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, they did. And so, great rematch here tonight at the Pooh.
And we'll be back with the starting lineups right after this.
It is Sweetheart Dance Night here at Kickapoo High School, and that young sweetheart probably won't be dancing later, but some of those will. Not as big of a crowd here tonight as there was at Glendale 2 weeks ago, but that may be because of the dance here tonight at Kickapoo. Roy Green told us that there are 400 to 500 tickets sold to the dance that starts at 9 o'clock here tonight at Kickapoo, and so there may be some extra primping and getting ready by some of the students other than coming to the ball game tonight.
Well, I tell you what, I think we've got a better crowd though overall, simply because the side of the gym that we're on is bigger than the gym over at Glendale. So yep. I think overall we may have more people, but the students, there might be a few of those who could make it a little bit better crowd. But all in all, it's nice to see this kind of support for high school basketball once again.
And before we get any further, folks, if you'll remember 2 weeks ago after Glendale's first basket out at their home on the 29th of January, rolls of toilet paper went flying from the Glendale side to the Kickapoo side, about 20 or 30 of them if you were there or if you remember. We have been told that security is tight tonight and that there is a possible egg threat in the building, but security and extra officers are hoping to stop that before it becomes an issue.
Security is tight and we will have no paper thrown.
Or eggs, certainly.
Well, one thing is for sure, they did a good job. I thought the students did a great job in having their fun, but keeping it in the stands in that last ball game. And if they continue to do that, I don't think that the security folks will be needed at all here this evening.
Of course, this could be a preview of the district final. These are the 1 and 2 seeded teams in the district, which will be over at Parkview in 2 weeks. Glendale number 1, Kickapoo 2, and of course the Vikings of Dick Rippey will figure in as the number 3 seed, Neosho 4, Carthage 5, and Joplin 6, but these 2 teams got the top nod in the Parkview district.
So settle back and enjoy the ball game. It's the Glendale Falcons and the Kickapoo Chiefs. We'll have the starting lineups right after this.
Some of the characters on hand here at Kickapoo tonight.
Boy, how times have changed when the guys are looking to see if their makeup is on right. Well, that's what they're doing.
That's right.
But then again, times have changed and guys are having fun at the basketball games, and that is very important. And this has been one of those years, Don, as we get down the stretch. We told you back in the month of January that February was going to be a fun month to watch basketball here on Cable 36 if you're a high school basketball fan, and it certainly has been that. And good games, and it's going to get even better as we get down the stretch. There's not one dominant team that has made everything uninteresting. Everybody is pretty good.
Another week of regular season for us after this. Central and Parkview boys next Tuesday, and Greenwood and Catholic doubleheader on the schedule from Hammond Center next Friday night, girls and then boys. And after that, it's into postseason, district championship at Parkview. After that, sectional round at Bolivar to finish our season.
And then on to the quarterfinal round, and I am not, to be honest with you, looking. I'm gathering that the 3A, 4A week is first, and then 1A and 2A will play after that. So let's take a look at the starting lineups. You see the Glendale Falcons getting set to be introduced to the crowd.
This is the Glendale lineup they've used since the injury to Blake Will in the Tournament of Champions. David Ross, Matt Tinsley, the sixth man, if you will, starting since mid-January. Ben Garwitz, a forward rather than a center. Austin Thompson and Wes Pickering. And on the Chiefs side, Ross Cully, Ryan Stock averaging 15 a game. Tyrone Gardner, who is averaging 18 a game since he became eligible at mid-semester. Ben Sutherland and Brad Taylor, an all-senior starting lineup for the Chiefs tonight.
For Glendale, you've got the four guards and the post player in Garwitz. And the last time we had this lineup in this matchup, Gardner went nuts.
Was it 28, I believe, that he had in the previous meeting 2 weeks ago? And he is capable of that type of night on any night. 28 points, including a three, which came late in the ballgame. He eventually fouled out with 32 seconds to go in that ballgame. So the Chiefs ready to go. Robert Burr will be one referee as you look at Mike Keltner in his 15th year at Glendale. Bill Keeter will get set to toss the ball in the air. He's at the top of your picture. One of the best seasons that Mike's put together in 15 years. He has been to Final Fours before, but to my knowledge has not gone this deep into the season with only 2 losses.
And it's unlike some of his better Final Four teams in that he really doesn't have a true dominant post player. Remember David Brewer at 6'9" went to the Final Four with him. But this may be one of his best balanced ball clubs with 4 guys, really 5. This is a very good offensive unit to run a 5-man motion game, which they do very well.
Tyler Ruhlman, another great Glendale name from about 10 years ago now.
Oh my, is it that long? He might have been one of the best players they've ever had. And you got to remember, my senior year, they were anchored by a guy named Tom Schultz, who was pretty good. Dr. Tom.
Yep. Falcons in the dark uniforms, Kickapoo in white. And out in the jump circle, David Ross looks to go to work for the Falcons. Pickering stripped away, gets it back and scores, and Glendale on the board first.
Get your best player in the middle of that zone and let him go to work. And even though they stripped him of the ball, Pickering was still strong enough to get it back and put it in the basket.
Kickapoo with their all-senior starting lineup. Taylor, who has not started as much as the other 4, wearing number 30 for the Chiefs.
The key matchup last time down was Ryan Stock. He did not have a good night, and they're going to need Wesley Pickering to do a similar type job as they match up here.
Pickering's coming out on him here, as you see. Stock on the left wing. Lob for Gardner. Misses his first try, and the Falcons get it. Gardner at 6'6", with a 3-inch advantage over anybody starting for the Falcons. He matches up even with Blake Will, who is still hampered by the broken finger. Minute and a half deep, 2-0 Glendale.
Tinsley might have been the key offensively for Glendale in that last meeting. He had 16. And I don't think Kickapoo quite expected that.
There's Tinsley to Ross.
You know, we talked about this before, though, Don. Glendale gets an awful lot of baskets in transition, and playing this zone will certainly hamper that for Kickapoo.
This is about a 30-second possession, and Garwitz misses a 16-footer from the corner.
Which is exactly what I think Roy Green was hoping, is that they would get a little impatient. And even though it wasn't a bad shot, perhaps a little bit impatient.
Now the Chiefs give it back. Thompson out to Tinsley. Inside, back over to Pickering, up from 3. Thompson knocks it out, and it'll be Kickapoo ball. Yeah, that wasn't a bad shot, that baseline shot of possession earlier, but maybe a little longer of a shot than Glendale would have liked to have had.
Particularly from Garwitz.
So in a slow-moving first quarter, a 3 is no good for Ross Cully. Gardner picks it up and misses. He is 0 for 2. And it's Glendale's turn again. Garwitz out to Thompson. Thompson back from Tinsley, and Tinsley will handle it up top. Thompson, he'll try the 3. Oh, not there.
That one was in and came back out.
Stock will go all the way home, and he misses. Pickering on the lead in. There is your transition basket that Glendale will probably have several more of tonight.
If their game goes the way they want it to, they will.
Lob in for Gardner, and Garwitz swats it away. 4:25 to play first quarter. 4-0 Glendale on top. Stock has Tinsley take it away, and now a jump ball. The possession arrow goes to the Chiefs. Right now in the conference, Glendale 7-0, Kickapoo and Parkview both 5-2. Here's Ross coming up with the ball for the Falcons. Now Thompson head of the circle, fires it inside, it's knocked out of bounds. The rest of the conference standings, Hillcrest 2-5, Central and Joplin both 1-6. And those teams, Central and Joplin, playing each other at the pit tonight. Parkview is at Hillcrest in the other conference matchup. Tinsley hits the 3. 7-0 Falcons. We saw this exact score last night in our girls' game. Glendale got off to the 7-0 lead, and Kickapoo ended up winning, or Glendale ended up winning. Now here's a foul whistle. First foul either way. And give this one to West Pickering.
Right there, on his back.
And the first of 2 is good for Ben Pendergrass, and there's your first Chief point. Seven to 2 Falcons after the second one. Kickapoo still working the zone. Ross over the top to Pickering in the corner. Back out for Tinsley, Ross left side. Back to Garwitz from the corner. Rebound for Pendergrass. Chiefs try to cut into the lead further. Cully with a bounce over to Stock. Underneath. Pendergrass picks it up and hits. has all 14 points, 7-4 Glendale. First quarter action at Kickapoo. Austin Thompson hits the three. Lob in for Gardner on the Chiefs side. The miss, Pendergrass again. And Pendergrass has come to play early on. Pickering underneath, too far under. Out to Ross, his free ball, no. Nearly tipped back up. And in, but not quite. And Gardner gets it. Cully out to Ryan Stock. Underneath, and a charge is the call on Stock as he ran over Thompson.
Take a look at this again. You're going to see Thompson's going to see him coming and step up, and you're right, he was there.
So that easy basket is waved off, and the first Kickapoo foul of the game charged to Stock. Inside, Ross out for Garwitz, and a foul in the lane, and that'll be on Pendergrass. No, it's not. It's on Cully. Minute 17 seconds to play in the first period. Inbounds for Thompson, turns around, sees the hoop and fills it up. Thompson now with 5, Pickering 4, and Tinsley a three-pointer for the Falcons.
Pendergrass with 6 for the Chiefs, and that's been it so far here quarter.
All 6. Under a minute to play in the period as you see. 12-6, Falcons with the lead. Chiefs with Cully over to Stock. He'll try it, hits the running 2. And the lead is 4. And the Chiefs get Glendale going too fast. Blake Will in the lineup, as you saw, 33, the 6'6" senior. And now with 30 seconds left, Roy Green directing traffic, and we'll probably look at one shot with about 6 to 8 seconds remaining.
Maybe.
Glendale not coming out to guard. And Stock goes to work. Right side, swing it inside, back out to Tim Banner, who misses a 3. And it's out as the quarter ends. 12-8, Falcons at the end of 1. Chiefs come up with a steal to start the second quarter, and Stock misses a running jumper, and Pickering gets the Glendale rebound. Glendale had the possession arrow to start the quarter, but gave it up. Kickapoo not able to capitalize. So at the start of the second, Thompson dumps it to Garwitz, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, right near the end of the quarter when I was talking about maybe the Chiefs would try to get a shot off with 6 or 8 seconds to go, with what you were saying. Ideally, that's what you want so you have time to get a rebound. But they were standing around. There was absolutely no motion. And by the time they started, it was down to about 10 seconds, and it took them 3 or 4 seconds to get into position. And eventually what they ended up getting was a very forced fadeaway 3 with about 3 seconds to go, and there's no way to get another shot off after that.
Brad Daylor got the foul. Ben Garwitz hit the first of 2. Not the second. And the Glendale lead is 5, early second quarter. Inside, Pendergrass. And he'll go to the stripe. Thompson got him that time. Just the second Falcon foul of the half.
At the line is Pendergrass.
Handful of jersey there, and then some. Pendergrass now with 7 of the Chiefs' 9. Kickapoo still missing Corey McDonald with his wrist injury. He's out possibly for the year. They'd like to get him back toward the end of districts or even further than that if Kickapoo happens to win the district. Out of bounds to the Falcons. Roy told us before the game about his road to the postseason may be as tough as anybody in the state at the 4A level because he's got to play Parkview, which of course has been state ranked as high as about number 6. And then if he can get through that, possibly face Glendale again. And they've been number 1 for much of the season.
Last poll, I believe, number 3, and that's only after their second loss to Jefferson City. They've lost to St. Raymond's and Jeff City.
Pickering fouled on his way up. And Pendergrass with the first. And you don't get a lot tougher road than that. Good job of drawing the foul by Pendergrass there, or by Pickering on Pendergrass. Matt Tinsley back into the lineup. Blake Will still in for the Falcons. Looks like he just has the fingers taped together now. It's the left index finger that's broken. Gardner misses from the foul line and Thompson the rebound. Thompson gets the pass from Tinsley and spins out a 3. So 14-9 Falcons. Stock turns around and misses. And a foul in the mix, whistled by referee Robert Burr. He also worked the previous match 2 weeks ago out of Glendale. Thompson's second personal.
You know, Glendale has an interesting dilemma because when they got used to playing without Blake because of the injury, they became a very, very good offensive unit. Now, though, if they're going to go anywhere in state play, they need him in the lineup to rebound and play defense on the inside.
Here's Stock. He got his own miss and put it in. And it's a 3-point game.
So slowly but surely, Mike Keltner needs to keep a winning hand going, but he also needs to get Blake involved and get him back into the swing of things.
They really haven't missed a beat with Tinsley. Pickering to the hole and the foul again, similar to what he did last time. Draws the foul. This time it's on the floor. Coming at you here.
At that point, the foul had already been called, a hand check on Cully.
His second. Glendale has been a little bit different team with Tinsley instead of Will during this stretch, but they've been very nearly just as good. In some ways better, probably. Not from a height standpoint, but from different areas of the game. This foul is going to be on Gardner. Pickering out the head of the key. 5:15 to go in the first half. 14-11 Glendale. The Falcons have led throughout. They led 7-0 at the start. Garwitz misses. Will is there. Can't get it in. Tapped out long to Tinsley. Pickering from 18. Yes.
Basket by number 15, West Pickering.
Three no good for Cully. Pendergrass has to save it. Gardner got it, and there's a Falcon foul.
Poor decision that time, but the Chiefs got bailed out by the Garwitz foul because they came down, fired up a three, and then almost lost it out of bounds. And then when they saved it, Glendale didn't go after the ball, and Garwitz ended up with a foul.
Ben Sutherland into the Kickapoo lineup, 25.
And the fact that Cully fired up that three earned him a spot next to Roy Green to talk about shot selection.
And we will get a foul on the back on Pendergrass here after the missed foul shot.
17 foul.
And that is the 7th team foul, so Glendale shooting free throws. Garwitz will shoot the bonus. .441 to go in the half. Free throw no good, and this has not been a foul shooting clinic so far. Lob for Gardner. Double teamed, travel. And give it to Glendale.
He was well defended that time, Don, and got off balance, and that's how come he fell down.
And a 22nd timeout is going to be called by Kickapoo. With 4:27 to play in the first half. And they'll say it was before Glendale got the ball to throw it in. So 16-12. Falcons have led throughout, lead it by 4 at this point.
And I think Roy perhaps sensed that his ball club might be getting a little frustrated over the fact that there wasn't a foul called on that end down there on Tyrone. And he was beginning to shake his head a little bit. And it was that point that Roy jumped up and said, hey, let's talk it over just for a minute to calm down. Because they're not in bad shape, down by 4, considering they fell behind 7-0.
In the meeting 2 weeks ago, Glendale had a 3-point halftime lead. Scoring was a little higher. It was 28-25. We still have 4 minutes and some change to go in the half here.
I would think now the pace will pick up because of the Chiefs' decision to get out of the zone.
Tinsley over to Ross.
You have a tendency to get out and guard man-to-man. That'll mean Glendale will speed it up. And the pace of the game will pick up.
Reach-in foul on Brad Daylor's his second. And Ross will have 1 and 1. 8th Kickapoo foul.
Number 12, Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson is into the Kickapoo lineup. 6'1" junior wears number 12. First one good for Ross. And he hits 2 out of 2 to increase the Falcon lead to 6. Stock cutting through. Pendergrass bangs it off the bottom of the rim. On the quick outlet, Tinsley hits it. Lead up to 8. Sutherland got hung out to dry, gives it to Gardner, and a foul is called.
Right call. Take a look at it. You'll see the block right there, but down below, you see Wes Pickering try to reach in and slap it away? That's where the foul was called.
Gardner, no good on the first one. Kickapoo coming off of a win Tuesday night against Parkview, 67-55 to solidify that 2 seed in the district. Gardner had 23 in that game.
Probably a good thing Blake blocked that shot, or we could have been looking at a three-point play. As it is, Gardner for the second time goes 1 out of 2 from the line.
Getting late first half. Pickering cutting through. He'll hit the finger roll. Glendale's built it to 9.
They're going to try to press. Kickapoo handles it easily.
Stock will look things over. Out for Cully. Stock no looks it to Gardner. He'll ball fake. Missed the shot. Rebound for Pickering. And the Falcons could take it to double digits. Will down for Pickering. Gardner stripped it away. Chiefs on the run. Stock layup. Good. Now Ross immediately to work. And his pass is intercepted by Stock. Cully has the layup. Underneath, Pickering hits. And the foul. Pickering a double figure first half. Will go to the line. Second foul on Gardner.
Watch this. This is a nice move. Look at this. He'll hang, wait, draw the foul, and then hit the shot.
Ben Sutherland, Brad Daler back in for Kickapoo. Pickering with 1.
As good a basketball player as he is, Don, there are those who say he might even be a better baseball player.
Great shortstop. Couple times off the iron, no good, and the Falcons with 1:20 to play in the half with an 8-point lead. Their largest has been 9. Will out on the right side as we hit the 1-minute mark to go. Pickering again, all the way. And has he taken over the show? 13 points for Pickering of Glendale's 27.
You know, the other 3 outside guys, Ross, Tinsley, and Thompson, pretty good jump shooters. Pickering's probably the one guy they've got who can break you down on the dribble and take her to the rack like that. And once Kickapoo went to the man, Glendale was able to take advantage of that. Similar ending of the first quarter as the second quarter. And let's see if the Chiefs get a little bit better shot. They're going to try to run it down, and they're in the same mode with Cully handling the ball in mid-floor.
Not moving until now with 12 seconds left.
They're getting into it a little bit quicker. They should get a good shot this time.
All the way for Sutherland. Still time for Glendale, but a save behind the back. And as the half ends, Kickapoo did get a better last shot.
But they also got it with 6 seconds to go in case they needed a rebound. So they handled that situation a lot better at the end of the second quarter than they did at the end of the first.
27-19 Glendale at the end of a half.
Welcome,
We're at
Miss James.
halftime. Glendale leads Kickapoo 27-19. A quick look at the first half scoring and then a special guest at halftime. Kickapoo graduate and professional baseball pitcher Alan Mahaffey will be with us as we check the scoring. Wes Pickering leads the way for the Falcons with 13. Austin Thompson and Matt Tinsley 5 each. David Ross with 2 and Ben Garwitz 1 free throw. And on the Kickapoo side, Ben Pendergrass has 7. Ryan Stock with 6. Tyrone Gardner, Ben Sutherland, and Ross Cully with 2 points apiece. Falcons led 12-8 after a quarter. and 27-19 as they lead it by 8 points at the half after scoring the first 7 points at the game and we're of the game. We're glad to have Alan Mahaffey with us for a visit at halftime in the off-season of baseball, Rob. And
why does that always mean I get to do the interviews when it's baseball related? But Alan, one of the few who goes on from a high school career to get to play for pay with the Minnesota Twins. Is that a good organization for you to be in right now?
Yes, it is. They have cut payroll. They're going to be down about $12 million this year. And they said that they're going to give their young guys in their farm system a chance to produce at the major league level.
You know, that's kind of a good news, bad news scenario. Automatically, when somebody hears cutting payroll, they think, oh no, everything's not going very well. But for a young guy like you coming up, that's a great opportunity. You get a chance to make the big league roster.
Yes, it is. It's a great opportunity. It saves the players in the farm system from being passed over from a free agent that they would go out and sign. So with them cutting payroll, they've got to go with the young guys that they've got in their farm system at the AA and AAA level.
Unlike a team that you saw last year in your league, the New York Mets, who have done exactly what you're saying. They've beefed up by a trades and free agency, and there's some young guys who won't get a chance.
That's right, and that's a way in a lot of organizations that the Yankees are going to be in the way they are. They go out and sign free agents, and guys in their farm system is the same way where they're stuck behind free agents.
So you're going to get a chance, having played in New Britain, Connecticut last year. What was it like in the Eastern League?
It was a lot of fun. It's a good league. The travel wasn't that bad. There was good competition. We ended up making the finals of the Eastern League, and we ended up losing to Harrisburg, but they've won the last 3 out of the 4 years. So hopefully, if I go back there next year, we can knock them off.
Now you're in a situation where if you don't make the Major League Ball Club, are they going to give you a chance at AAA?
I hope so. That's my goal is going into spring training is make the AAA club. And like I tell people, if I get to AAA, you never know what could happen. Somebody could get injured, and I could be throwing good, and I could be right there in the big leagues.
Now, what role do they have you in right now?
Right now, I'm a relief pitcher. I started my career as a starter for the first 2 years, and the last 2 years I've been out of the bullpen, and I feel a lot more comfortable coming out of the bullpen in situations. And it looks like to make the big leagues, it's probably going to be a left-handed specialist type guy come in and get 1 or 2 left-handers out, and we'll see what happens from there.
And for those who think, well, you know, you pitch in relief, left-hander like that in your situation, you're going to get to work. You may work 5 days out of 7.
Right, that's exactly right. I mean, that's the way it is in the bullpen. You never know. You may throw 3 days in a row. You may have 3 days off. So you just got to be ready every day to go out and throw.
You know, much has been made of some of the successful players that have come out of Southwest Missouri State. I know you've had, I believe, a couple that you might have run across in Hacker and a couple of the others leave my memory right now, but you've seen some of those guys, haven't you?
Yeah, Hacker's in our organization. He was in Fort Myers, Florida, which is our high A. He got hurt this year. He had a wrist injury and was in an instructional league, and he should be back ready to go this year. And you run into players that you played against in high school, junior college, and college, and stuff like that. And that's kind of fun to reminisce about the old days.
Yeah, things like that happen. I know guys go up. You're playing now with guys. If you all get to AAA, you could be playing with guys you've been playing with and against since A-ball in different organizations.
That's exactly right. I was telling a story last night. The Red Sox have been in our league each year for the last 3 or 4 years, so you know all those guys and what they can do. And guys that I started with in '95 have made the step with me each way in AA and AAA, and before you know it, 2 or 3 years from now, everybody that we've played with is gonna be in the big leagues.
You know, it's funny, and I, having been in New Britain, and I know they built a new ballpark, but with everything that's so nice in Salt Lake City, I bet there's a lot of incentive to go from AA to AAA.
The biggest incentive is just being in AAA and being 1 step closer to the big leagues, but they play in front of 10,000 people a night, and to be at AAA is a great accomplishment, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I tell you what, let's hope you get to bypass AAA and you make that big league roster out of spring.
I hope so.
We'll keep an eye on you. Thanks, Alan. Alan Mahaffey's been our guest, former Kickapoo high school player, now with the Minnesota Twins organization. It's 27-19, Glendale with the lead. We're at the half, and we'll be back.
At the half, Glendale leading Kickapoo 27-19. One more week of regular season action for us here on Cable 36. Next Tuesday night, we'll be over at Parkview as the Central Bulldogs meet the Parkview Vikings. That'll be live at 7:30 next Tuesday night, right here on Cable 36, and that will be the second to last game in the history of Ozark Conference play for the Central Bulldogs. They, of course, are bowing out of the Ozark Conference at the end of this season. Will be an independent next year and then take it from there. But Central meeting the Vikings, which are the number 3 seed in the district that they will host the week after that. And all that action coming your way here on Cable 36 in the coming 2 weeks. Both teams head out for second half action. Kickapoo trailing by a score of 27-19. And away we go in the final 16 minutes.
I tell you what, I enjoyed visiting with Alan at halftime. He's going to have an opportunity to do some things in that organization this year. Talking about the Minnesota Twins.
Here's Gardner, blocked by Blake Will from behind. Will starting the second half, so it's the old starting lineup out there for Glendale.
Well, that's what we were talking about, Don. They're going to have to eventually work him in, and they did a good job on the inside in the first half, so why stay with it, or why not? Why make a change?
Falcons with an 8-point lead in the ball. Austin Thompson up top. Ross down to Will and Garwitz again. A minute gone in the third quarter. And Will with a miss, Pickering the tap. And it's picked up by Stock, and we'll get a Glendale foul for apparently not giving enough room.
Nope. Watch what he calls. He called the foul. He made a late call is what Bill did. He called Garwitz for the hammer that he had before the ball got to that, before they got to that charge part.
And now a foul on Ross as the Chiefs bring it up floor.
Right call, just a little bit late. That was all.
So now Cully to Sutherland for the Chiefs. Kickapoo team's not used to scoring 19 points in a half. And still at 19 after a minute and a half in the third quarter, but there's the third Glendale foul of the period with less than a minute and a half gone. And the third personal on Austin Thompson.
That eventually will come back to haunt you. And Thompson spent some time on the bench with 2 fouls in the first half. He'll sit down with 3 fouls here early in the third.
Tinsley back in. Sutherland, the baseline jumper, no good. Rebound underneath for Pickering. And a kick by Cully. Ross will bring it in from the baseline. Tinsley down to Will against Gardner one-on-one, and there's the first basket for Will.
Blake gets down to the post like that, Donnie. He's a very good player.
And still obviously not at 100%. And here's going to be a charge called on a crash underneath, and Roy Green immediately comes off the bench and says,
there's where they thought the foul occurred right there. They thought Will stepped in with a hip. Might have been right. But the charge was definitely there, but the debate comes over whether or not Will committed a foul before that.
Stock gets the foul. It's his second. Glendale by 10. Pendergrass to the hole and a foul whistle. And it's the first personal on Blake Will.
Well, he got out of the open floor that time and decided to play defense with his hands. And you've got to play defense with your feet.
And to Pendergrass. Stock up from 3. Air ball. Tap to Tinsley. finds the handle on it, gets it to Will, and a block or a push, if you will, whistled on Ben Sutherland. His first and the Chiefs' second. Will take the baseline here, and Sutherland holding him off. Little trouble getting it in for Ross, but he does. Shakes his man, that's Cully. And then shook him coming back. Garwitz back out long to Ross. Tinsley in the open floor. Garwitz at the foul line, and the Falcons look for the right shot. Tinsley takes it and hits it. And Kickapoo still scoreless in the second half. And timeout. And it'll be a 20. That'll be Roy Green's final 22nd timeout. With 4:45 to go in the third quarter. Bad news for the Chiefs is they've scored 19 points. Good news is they're only down 12.
But at the pace of the game, that 12 points is a little bit bigger because it's not an up and down the floor type of game.
And so the job may be to change the pace if you're Kickapoo, and that may start with going to the man on the defensive end. Try to get a few more possessions out of the time that remains.
But yet get good shots and not worry about trying to get just to get shots. You got to get good shots.
Stock inside Gardner. He gets a good shot and scores his first field goal. Had just 2 free throws in the first half. (31-21), the lead is 10, and a foul in the lane. That'll be on Sutherland. Number 2 on him, and now just about everybody in the game for Kickapoo has 2 fouls. Here's a 3 off the inbounds. It's no good for Tinsley. Transition for Brad Daylor. Fire it to Sutherland. What a pass. Thread the needle from Stock. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with Glendale. Austin Thompson back in now with 3 fouls. Past the midway point of quarter number 3, 31-23. Glendale by 8 with possession. Ross using a screen from Garwitz, misses. Garwitz gives up the rebound to Ross. Now Ben will take it in and miss. Thompson is there and scores. Stock gets a quick shot and hits for the Chiefs.
Ryan Stock, 14.
And a foul coming down is going to be called on Cully.
Third personal foul.
That will be number 3 on Ross Cully.
14 fouls. In the game, the Chiefs, number 32, Ben Vindergrass, number 44.
That would have to bother you if you were an official. It would me to have a guy commit a foul and then try to tell you that no, it was the other guy when you clearly saw what happened.
Ben Pendergrass back to action for the Chiefs. Pickering down the lane and into the hole. He has 15 as he picks up from his 13-point effort in the first half.
Ryan Stock, 14.
Ryan Stock has a quick answer, and Kickapoo has scored quickly their last 2 times down, both times by Stock. And that's what they're going to need to do. Thompson, no good from 3. Out long to Daylor. He'll shoot the 3. Not quite. Ross man-to-man with Cully, and he'll draw another hand check on Cully, and that'll be number 4.
The fourth personal foul, number 5, Ross Nolan.
Well, you got to learn from what happened last time. Not much there, but they're calling hand checks. And now a foul after the miss.
Yeah, Pickering that time climbed in and got on the back of one of the Chiefs on the inside.
Third personal foul, number 15,
And they've been calling it, so they'll continue to call it.
Well, you can't get away with a hand check like that, or the belly bump, as I like to call it, or the bump in the open floor.
Probably 3 or 4 years ago you could have, but not anymore. And now somebody's going to get called for clotheslining Stock, and that'll be David Ross.
Second personal foul, number 11, David Ross.
Watch this collision. Ooh. So Kickapoo looking at an 8-point deficit. They could get it to 5 or 6. It'll remain at 8 as the miss for J.P. Morgan. Kickapoo gets it back though with Brett Powell. And some reserves getting a little action now. Miss for Daler. Falcons survive that trip. Ross finds Pickering. Back to West from Tinsley, and now Tinsley up top. Ross through the lane, stripped cleanly. And Daler did the job that time. Stock all the way. The scoop out of travel. Tyrone Gardner checks back in for the Chiefs.
Nice little moving screen there, but he took the extra step at that point.
Glendale still leading by 8. They've led by as many as 12. And now Thompson throws it out of bounds, unforced turnover. Sutherland back in, and Blake Will back to action for Glendale. A minute to go in the third.
I don't know if either coach will want to send the film of this one, at least the third quarter, to the Hall of Fame.
I would think not. Morgan from 3. J.P. Morgan gets Kickapoo's first 3 of the night. It's a 5-point game. Now Glendale may have a chance to get a last-second opportunity again at the basket to our right, which has been the basket of choice in the final seconds. Lead it to Pickering. Too far under. Garwitz in, and he scores.
I'd like to see that again because it looked like he had no chance to get it to the rack.
First personal foul, number 10, J.P. Morgan.
Pays to be left-handed, guys.
Garwitz will shoot one. The foul was on Morgan, his first, and Garwitz makes good on the 3-point play. Still 12 seconds left for Stock and the Chiefs. Leaning in, blocked by Garwitz, and a held ball is going to be called. Garwitz capped it up top. The possession arrow to the Falcons with 7 seconds. So with 7, Ross will wait to touch it. And Pickering will get a shot. No good, and the third quarter clock expires. And another good one between these two teams. 38-30 Glendale with 8 minutes to play. Some of the Rowdies look on with 8 minutes to play. Kickapoo with the possession. Morgan again from three from the corner. He has come in hot.
You remember we talked about shooters, unlikely candidates to fire him up and let him go in? He came off the bench and hadn't looked at a shot from under 22 feet yet, and he's hit 2 of the 3 that he's taken.
Will has to corral it. Glendale lead is 5.
Watch how Morgan's working defensively. You don't think that offense helps you play a little defense? He doubles down on Garwitz.
Will has it blocked. A stop. Big rejection by Ryan. Thompson looking things over. And now Tinsley runs the show. Tinsley finds Garwitz at the block. That one may have been deflected. Gardner comes out of there with the ball. Chiefs could cut even further. Gardner draws the foul. And the Chiefs get exactly what they want, and now we'll get a 20-second timeout whistled by Glendale. And Gardner shooting when this timeout is over.
So Glendale uses their first timeout.
6:40 left in the game. Both teams with plenty of timeouts remaining, 38-33, and the Falcons have led all the way. But Kickapoo is as close as they've been since the second quarter. And very early in the second quarter when it was 16-12. 2 for Gardner.
At the line of the Chiefs, Cameron Gardner.
1 left, and this one also no good. The rebound. That was Morgan, and he'll shoot 2. Morgan on the spot again.
At the line of the Chiefs, J.P. Morgan.
3rd foul on Blake Will. And Morgan has 7. Will got him as he was going up there. The miss and a rebound foul. And that would appear to be on Gardner.
Third personal foul.
It is, and that is his 3rd. Foul situation for Glendale. Thompson, Pickering, and Will all with 3. Ross and Garwitz have 2. For Kickapoo, Gardner 3. Ross Cully with 4, remember. Stock, Sutherland, Pendergrass, and Daler all with 2. 6:35 left. And Will can't connect. Out of bounds to the Chiefs. Stock to Sutherland into the Chiefs forecourt. 4-point game, 38-34. Morgan, not this time. Rebound for Garwitz.
Gotta wonder when Glendale's going to get out and guard him. He's had 3 very good open looks. Actually 4.
Pickering pulls up and won't take the shot. Will at the foul line, back out. With 6 minutes to play. Back into Will against Gardner. And Will lays it home. Morgan, 3 again. This one's short. He's cooling off quickly. Ahead to Pickering, the layup. On the front rim. Can you believe that? Gardner has to fire it out of traffic. They get it to Morgan, and he travels. Roy Green talking things over now, right there in your play with Bill Keeter, and there's blood on his lip or somewhere. Well, it looked like a fighter that took one, as you saw in your picture. And he's replaced by Ben Pendergrass.
And as most coaches will do, they say, well, there's no foul there. My man has got hit. Obviously, he didn't start bleeding on his own.
There is blood, but still no foul.
Which is usually what it takes to get a foul out of some guys, they say.
Ross all the way. Hits, and he's fouled.
Our colleague, former colleague, now down in Branson, Scott McCauley, always used to say about his father Nolan that that's what it took to get Nolan to call a foul.
Here's Tim Banner replacing Ben Pendergrass. Ross will have one when they wipe up the floor, it looks like. 5:18 remaining. Ross could get the Glendale lead back to 9. It was 4 just a few minutes ago at 38-34, and so far 4 straight points since that time. And Ross trying to add the free throw. Gets it to rattle home. On the Chiefs end, Kickapoo is going to turn it over. And Roy Green this time wants a full timeout. He'll take it with 5:09 left. Glendale leads it by 9 when we come back. A very quick full timeout. Glendale brought it down floor, and Wes Pickering got fouled, and he hits the first of 2 shots. They were back out there after about 25-30 seconds.
20-second timeouts do that to you. As Ryan Stock picks up his 3rd foul, you get used to talking it over in 20-25 seconds, no matter if you call a full timeout or not.
Taylor misses a 3, and Sutherland's going to go to the line. Couldn't get it to fall. Blake Will gets foul number 4. They've all been in the second half. And Ben Sutherland will shoot a pair. Double-digit lead for the Chiefs now that, well, will it at worst remain. It's an 11-point lead.
And there's your foul coming up right there, right across the arm.
5 for Sutherland, and it is a 10-point game with the Falcons on top. Pendergrass back in for the Chiefs. Garwitz has it poked away, and what a job by Stock. He spiked it like a volleyball off Garwitz and got the ball back for the Chiefs. What a move. Now Stock, shaking in the bacon, goes to Culley. Now Gardner, great pass, and Gardner hits. Been a rough night for him. Now Kickapoo gets it back. Stock wanted the 3 awfully bad. Instead, Culley will try, and it's not going to get there. Will tries to save it. Thompson knocks it out of bounds. Kickapoo ball. Morgan back in, and he's got a new jersey on. He's not 10 anymore, he's 14, so they gave him a new jersey to replace the bloody one. Here is Morgan for 3. Gardner the rebound. cut to 6. Pickering makes it look a little easier on the Falcons end, and he's up to 20. Morgan down to Pendergrass, who hits, and will go to the line. And that is going to be all for Blake Will.
Blake's wondering what he did, but what he did was he got there late. Had he got there first, would have been a different story, but he was there late, made contact, ball went in the basket. And Mike Keltner will use the time to talk to his players.
He'll get basically a free timeout since you get 30 seconds to sub. Players have to stay out on the floor if you're not that familiar with this. And he'll use the 30-second sub time to get a free timeout. Roy Green does the same on his side. And Austin Thompson is the sub for Will, who is gone. So the 5 out there now for Glendale, other than Blake Will, these are the only other 5 that have played.
It's a starting lineup.
Yeah. The miss for Pendergrass. Gardner the rebound, and he misses. Pickering pulls it down for the Falcons, who lead it by 6 with 3:25 to go. And the Chiefs turn the trick again. And that's Brad Taylor. The lead is 4. Ahead to Tinsley in forecourt. These two teams have done it again. Ross has to go get it. And the ball is tied up. And the possession arrow is going to stay on Glendale's end. Ross Colley is back. Morgan is out. Glendale from the side. Into Garwitz. He couldn't get free from Gardner, and the reason was that Gardner was holding him, or that would have been a layup. Fourth foul on Tyrone. Both teams are at the double limit, so 2 free throws the rest of the way on both ends. Sutherland and Morgan back in for Kickapoo. Roy Green subbing just about at every dead ball, it seems. One more, Garwitz. And the Chiefs lead, or trail, by 5. 48-43 Glendale. Your time remaining as you see. Daylor from 3, he misses, and the foul is going to be called on Kickapoo as the ball came down. And is it Gardner? It is, and that's his 5th. He'll be out with 2:46 remaining. So that will leave the smaller lineups for both teams with their 2 tallest players both out with fouls. 2 shots for Garwitz. And the lead is 7. 50-43. Over to the corner to Daylor, won't take the shot. Back out for Stott. Up from 16, no good. Sutherland fighting for it. Pickering finds it. The Chiefs get it back. Stott through the lane, no. Sutherland, yes. every possession becoming more and more important as we go, but of the utmost importance now with 2:13 to go.
Fourth personal foul, number 20, Ryan Stock.
Stock gets hit for the foul, his fourth.
At the line is Ben Garwood.
2 more shots for Garwitz. And the lead is 6.
In the game for the Chiefs is number 44, Brett Powell.
Garwitz has made 5 at the line in the second half. Brett Powell, 44, back in now at the low lane spot for Kickapoo. He is 6'6", to add a little height. Garwitz hits both. And Glendale's lead is 7. Daler from 3, no. Morgan the rebound, backs it out. Stock from 23. That's short, and Garwitz brings it up for the Falcons. Now Glendale will keep it out long. And Kickapoo immediately coming out to foul. Daler the foul, his third.
30, Brad Taylor. At the line, David Ross.
2 for Mr. Ross. So far for the Falcons, it's Pickering with 20, and then Garwitz 9. Point number 6 for David Ross. Thompson has 7. Tinsley 7. Will fouled out with 4.
Turns out they've needed every one of those 20 points that Pickering has put on the board tonight.
Now they'll play cat and mouse before this last free throw. And Mr. Burr will step in and say, stay where you are. Seven for Ross. Glendale by 9. And a free ball, Ross fouled. That's before the ball got there. You might not have heard the whistle, or before he got to the hole, close enough to the hole. It's on Pendergrass, and it'll be 2. That's the third on Pendergrass. Down to 1:41 to play. First one for Ross, count it.
Yeah, you notice when the game got to 4 points, the crowd was in it. You notice Mike Keltner didn't take a timeout. His ball club was able to maintain their composure, and they've hit their throws.
Stock leans in for a 2, that's good. And Kickapoo needing a quick foul, and they get it from Morgan. Second one on him. And we're down to 92 seconds. 2 for Pickering this time. Could get the lead to double digits. First one's good for a 10-point margin. Not the second, so the lead is 10. Daler all the way. Tapped out to Stock. Hooks it up, no good. Daler underneath, and he's fouled as he got behind the basket almost at floor level. But he'll earn the 2-shot foul. That'll be the 4th on Thompson. Daler for 2, and the first one's good. Kickapoo cannot afford to miss really another one. Tim Banner returns.
Chiefs are in a position now where they can score on every possession left in the game and still not win. if Glendale hits their free throws.
Second one's no good. And with 1:15 to go, Thompson on the lead in. Glendale looking good now with 1:08 to go. Looking for their 22nd victory against 2 losses.
Mike Keltner's not too happy with his ball club now, though. Inside the last 90 seconds, they've just sent Kickapoo to the line twice to shoot free throws. That's the last thing you want to do, is give them a chance to score without the clock running.
Especially a shooter like Stock, anybody for that matter, but especially a Ryan Stock caliber shooter. Falcons by 9. Stock has 14. Eric Johnson is in for the Chiefs along with Ben Pendergrass.
New guys to get some fouls.
That's it. Johnson gets his first. That took 1 second. There's 1:03 to go. And I think we can say that if Glendale makes its free throws, they're going to win this game.
But remember, Kickapoo had an 8-point lead a few years ago inside a minute to play. Glendale has a 10-point lead now, and Glendale came back to win the game with less than a minute to go.
That's one of the greatest things you've ever seen in high school ball, isn't it?
It has to be.
I know we talk about it a lot, but it deserves to be talked about.
Well, because you just can't, as Yogi said, it ain't over till it's over.
You can't hardly fathom scoring 10 and winning a game in a minute. Morgan from the Glendale bench, and it's put back in by Eric Johnson. And timeout. 54 seconds left. It's a full timeout. Glendale leads at 61-52. Don West, Rob Evans, 54 seconds left, 61-52. Falcons lead it by 9. Into Pickering and a quick foul, and this is how it's going to finish up
for the next 10 minutes.
Or until Kickapoo calls off the dogs if Glendale continues to make their foul shots. Pickering to the line, Johnson's second foul. And Pickering misses the first of 2. I've got something I've been saving.
Oh dear.
And I'm going to save it just a little longer as Pickering misses both.
Now you got to use it now. You've already brought it up.
I know, I'm going to use it, but just to give me a little bit. Kickapoo ball.
There ain't a whole lot left.
Morgan from 3, good. And timeout, 40 seconds to go, and we'll be back in 30 seconds, 61-55, Falcons. Well, J.P. Morgan's third three-pointer has pulled Kickapoo within 6, but the bad news is they're out of timeouts. They get it in quickly, and Cully fouls out as he fouls David Ross. 39 seconds left, and the margin is 6 for Glendale.
Still not going to use it, huh?
These free throws go, I'll lay it on you.
Come on, baby, hit them foul shots. I've got to hear this.
You'll hear it one way or the other.
Oh, well, then why are you waiting?
Cully sits down because there's going to be some more time.
You think so, huh?
Ross shooting for double figures and makes the first one. You think about the success of these two coaches during their tenures, 15 years for Mike and 16 for Roy. And just how close an amount of success have they had. Morgan misses from 3 off balance. Garwitz the rebound, and there's the foul. That'll be on Banner. We'll go to the other end. As it looks like Glendale is going to pull out the win. Mike Keltner's record at Glendale will now be 286 and 130. Roy Green's record will be 308 and 140. And if you figure the percentages, the winning percentages, they are exactly the same. 6.875, 687.5, the winning percentage for both coaches, as long as Glendale hangs on for 22 more seconds. The miss and the foul, and Thompson will shoot this time.
So what's your point?
They've had the same amount of success. Exactly. In terms of percentage.
Putting it succinctly, they're both pretty doggone good.
They both won 68.75% of their games as the coaches of their school.
And they're in the Hall of Fame anywhere that won't induct those kind of numbers.
That's right. 10 now for Thompson. He becomes the 4th Falcon double-figure scorer. It will be Glendale's 22nd win. There's a 3. And a foul, as we said, Kickapoo out of timeouts. Eric Johnson hitting the 3 that time for the Chiefs, but it's going to be too little too late. Falcons will clinch no worse than a tie in the conference with 2 games to go. And more importantly, keep that figure on the loss side at the very low number of 2. With 2 games left in the regular season and district play after that. Ahead of the buzzer, the 3 is no good, and Glendale wins it. They beat the Chiefs for the 2nd time this year. As the students storm the floor, 66-58, Glendale wins it by an 8-point margin, and we'll wrap it up in a minute. Glendale wins it 66-58. Falcons 22-2, 8-0 in the conference. Kickapoo 16-6 and 5-3. Glendale led it at the half 27-19. The Falcons led all the way. They scored the first 7 points of the game, led 12-8 after a quarter, 30-30 after 3 quarters, and Kickapoo, Rob, was able to get it to 4 in the 4th quarter, but no closer.
And they had the crowd behind them. They had momentum going, but Glendale was able to do 2 things. Composure, they kept it. Free throws, they hit them. That's the way you win games.
Glendale got 24 from West Pickering tonight. David Ross 11, Austin Thompson and Ben Garwitz 10 each for the Kickapoo Chiefs. Ryan Stock had 14. J.P. Morgan was the star of the second half with 3 threes and 10 points all after halftime. Eric Johnson 5, Tyrone Gardner 8, Brad Daler 3, Ben Pendergrass 9, Ben Sutherland 7, Ross Culley with 2. And also we missed a couple on the Glendale side. Matt Tinsley had 7 and Blake Will with 4. So the Falcons win the 2nd round of the Kickapoo-Glendale rivalry as they did the first, and there could be a 3rd in the district finals. These teams are the 1 and 2 seeds in the district at Parkview, but the Vikings will have plenty to say about that on their home floor coming in 2 weeks. As for us, we'll have high school action next week. The Central Bulldogs and the Parkview Vikings from Parkview next Tuesday night, and we hope you'll join us for that. For Rob Evans, I'm Don West. Thanks for joining us. Glendale wins 66-58 over Kickapoo, and good night from Kickapoo High School.